Nigeria has over 37 billion barrels of oil underneath their feet. But the big question is, why don't they have oil reserves in Nigeria? On today's episode, we're talking about where the oil in Nigeria actually goes to and why doesn't Nigeria have an oil reserve. But before I continue, do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance content like this. Let's dive right in. After the amalgamation of Nigeria, the British colonial government passed a law that every natural resources that was being found in Nigeria belonged to the crown. Now, that law has been there since 1914 till date. The British made sure that they excluded Nigeria from having any rights to their oil, making the oil neutral. It didn't belong to them that had it under their feet, but it could be transferred to Britain. Long before independence, the colonial administration granted Shell the right to get oil from Nigeria. Shell was given the license by the British government to explore the whole of Nigeria, and they were given the right to take our oil. This single monopoly done by the British colonial government gave them the right to control the future of our wealth.
Nigeria didn't get rich from oil. Oil is why Nigeria was broken. When Shell first found oil in 1956, Britain didn't celebrate, they seized control. They passed a colonial law called the Minerals Ordinance of 1914, which said all natural resources belong to the crown. That law still exists today, rewritten as federal control. So when communities in the Niger Delta say, our oil, legally it never was. Britain designed Nigeria's constitution so no state could truly own its wealth. They left behind the perfect trap, an oil nation where oil belongs to nobody.
They reinforced the crown ownership. They made it known till date that the oil in Nigeria wasn't owned by nobody. The royalty and the tax structure of Nigeria's oil was structured in a way that will only favor the British. Most of the oil that was discovered before independence were being siphoned by the British Empire. They took the lion's share, they took the profit and left Nigerians with the crumbs. Nigeria has enough oil in the ground. I'm talking about 37 billion barrels of oil and more that are still yet to be discovered. But they lack significant refined fuel tanks. I'm talking about reserves. Unlike the US and the China, which are not affected by the global oil crisis because they have a lot of reserves that they've kept for years. Meanwhile, Nigeria relies on just-in-time imports, meaning before Dangote's refinery came to life, if a ship was delayed on the sea, Nigeria automatically went dry of gasoline. Despite having billions of barrels on the ground, Nigeria was the only major oil producers that were still importing refined fuel from other countries. Despite having a lot of oil on the ground, they could have just built a refinery to help them process their oil for themselves. But no, they didn't do it. They preferred to import fuel from other countries. Now, they let the state-owned refineries dormant for decades. Come to think of it, when the oil is being sent abroad to be refined, they create jobs and values for that country. Then we go back to buy the refined product in millions. Not just in millions, they are being sold back to Nigerians at international prices.
So tell me, Nigeria, after 60 years of mining oil, why up to date you don't have a processing in the refinery to purify your oil and sell petrol to the world? That's why the oil pipes of Nigeria are passing through villages where poverty is worst. British Petroleum. And Nigeria has to import back its own fuel as a processed product at a price 3 to 4, 5 times more than they send it out of the country. Those mines don't belong to us. The government signed a document with the British government, and it's in the constitution, it's in the law, that Britain will mine this place for the next 99 years. I don't know how long is the lease. So you have the same law that you vote leaders into.
The bitter thing about this is that aside from the fact that the British government siphons our oil, it's not just them. There are other illegal oil mines in Nigeria. It is estimated that Nigeria loses over 200,000 to 400,000 barrels of oil per day to pipe vandalism and illegal bunkering. Now, illegal bunkering is oil that is produced but never recorded in the government. They are oil that are being siphoned by some set of people in the country.
So this is an illegal crude oil refining site here in Okozi, no by Mandon local government area of the Come. Now, all these sacks you see here are sacks of crude oil. It's not sacks of rice. It's liquid. Liquid is inside all of them. Come. You see? This is crude oil. This is crude oil. It's crude oil. So it's a major operation. It's ongoing. Massive operation. The Nigerian Navy, led by this man here, Commodore Desmond Ibo. He's the commander of the Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder. They discovered this place inside somebody's compound. Okay, you people tried. You people found this place. So they said they've arrested 2 people and they are still trying to track down the other people because it's a massive operation that's ongoing here. Now, if you remember 3 weeks ago, the Nigerian Navy launched the 3rd phase of operation.
Now, these army men are discovering illegal oil mines in Nigeria. The British government are still taking from us, and we ourselves are still taking. Technically, Nigeria needs the oil reserves to be able to save financially from our oil. Now that the price of oil is high, this is a cue to Nigeria to open savings for our country. However, due to political pressure and frequent withdrawals, this might not happen anytime soon. In recent years, giants like Shell and Exxon are now selling their assets to go back to their country. Now, has this ever crossed your mind? Why are they leaving Nigeria? We still have oil in Nigeria. They claim they're leaving Nigeria because of the environmental shifts. And also, they also claim most Nigerians are siphoning their oil. And so when they held a meeting with other Nigerians, a Nigerian activist came out and questioned the CEO of Shell.
Communities, people across the world are rising up against the Delta and against Shell.
I said 1 to 2 minutes.
Your days of profiting from our destroying our lives are numbered.
You're going to be asked to leave the auditorium.
I've heard your question.
Other people have had more time than me to ask
Please go
questions.
this way, please.
Just finish your question. Leave it for a minute. Security, leave it for a minute. Leave it for a minute. No. Please leave it for a minute. Leave it for a minute. Could you maybe turn and face the? Could you face the people who you're asking the question?
Yes, I can.
And I think you've asked your question.
I haven't asked my question. My question is, who will clean up nearly 70 years worth of oil spills and gas flaring in the Niger Delta? Who will fix the health of indigenous people? Who will restore their livelihood?
Okay, thank you.
Now, many Nigerians have been affected by the pollution of their water, their air, of their lands. And now Shell and ExxonMobil are going back to their countries. They are going back there to go and reap the fruit of their labor. Over 70 decades of getting oil from Nigeria. As sad as this might sound, we are helpless because they already passed a rule to all Nigerians. And this law cannot be broken unless Nigerians are ready for World War IV. Now, away from that, Dangote's refinery has been a savior to Nigerians and we are now benefiting from it today. If not for Dangote's refinery, by now Nigerians will be spending billions of dollars trying to get fuel from other countries. During this crisis, Dangote's refinery has slashed Nigeria's fuel import from over 42 million barrels to almost 0. Can you beat that? Yes, Dangote's refinery, we're proud of him and we're happy that this global crisis is hitting us, but not as hard as it should. Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, Mozambique, other African countries are now coming to us, Nigeria, to ask for fuel. This is about Africans knowing that we can actually come together.
A few months ago, Europe rejected a shipment of oil from Africa's largest refinery. Said it didn't meet their standards. Said that the sulfur content was just too high. They sent it back. Today, Europe is on the phone begging for every drop they can get. My, how the tables have turned. On February 28th, the U.S. and Israel launched strikes on Iran. Iran responded by shutting down one of the most critical waterways on the planet. 25% of the world's seaborne oil, 20% of its liquefied natural gas became inaccessible overnight. Europe panicked. The same continent that rejected African fuel because it didn't meet their standards suddenly found itself with 6 weeks of jet fuel reserves. Nowhere to turn. So where did they turn? Nigeria.
If you've watched this video up until this point, it means that you enjoyed the video. So I'd like you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents like this. Until next time, bye for now.